Where the stars are as elusive as foxes.
And the clouds form the ends to end all.
Every sentence has its own story to tell.
Words strung together to form their own types of beauty.
Dearest gentlefolk, admission is free.
So pay at the door.
Pull up a chair.
And sit on the floor.
And welcome to Poetry Perch.
So, how's it like to be on the show?
It's great. It's been 2 years since I came up with the ideas for the entire thing, and I'm really excited to finally be a part of it now.
All right, to introduce my co-host, this is Destiny Gilbert. She has helped me plan for this for multiple years, and this is the first time she's actually been able to be in front of the camera. So,
hello everybody.
What's the topic for today?
Our topic is plants and their symbolism within poetry.
Mm-hmm. All right. First, any preconceived notions you have about plants that you think might show up in this?
I do know that a lot of times people use plants to represent growth, like have it be within the mind, body, or soul. So I'm imagining we'll see a lot of that.
And I'm imagining it similar to how Gaia is portrayed, the earth and nature.
Right.
Let's see who is right. First up, we have the first poem read by Leah Samuelson.
This is Mighty Oak by Kathy J. Parenteau. Stand tall, O mighty oak, for all the world to see. Your strength and undying beauty forever amazes me. The storm clouds hover above you, your branches span the sky. In search of the radiant sunlight you count on to survive. When the winds are high and restless and you lose a limb or two, it only makes you stronger. We could learn so much from you. Though generations have come and gone and brought about such change, quietly you watch them all, yet still remain the same. I only pray God gives to me the strength He's given to you to face each day with hope, whether skies are black or blue. Life on earth is truly a gift, every moment we must treasure. It's the simple things we take for granted that become our ultimate pleasures.
Thank you, Leah, for that beautiful poem and beautiful reading. What did you think about it personally?
I really liked it. I liked how it had this whole idea of looking up to this tree as a symbol of purity and the ultimate end goal of growth.
It was a beautiful poem, I will have to say.
I
really did like it. I love how it portrayed the tree as a strong, hardy, but also beautiful thing to strive to be, instead of just... Typically, trees aren't seen as beautiful in the normal sense, and it's not often talked about, I've seen. But it's such a simple but sweet poem, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the connection that the author seems to have with Mother Nature, and that's something that I also want to get into. Like when I'm older, I want to start hiking, and I feel like that would be my way of reconnecting with nature.
It does seem to have a very nature-centric idea to it. Even if not direct, it seems implied, and it's honestly one of my new favorite poems.
Right.
I really like it. All right, on to our second one, which is The Rose, and it's read by Faith Quaintance.
The Rose by Billy Joe. The sun went away, the sky went black. Up came the wind, I fell on my back. It started to rain, I began to sink. Then I lifted my head and took a drink. I perked myself up and said, please don't cry, and wiped off my petals until they were dry. The clouds soon parted, and out came the sun. The beauty in me has only begun.
Now, I don't know about you, but I felt that that was a beautiful poem about self-care.
I did too. I really liked how it made self-care seem more of
a beautiful thing.
A beautiful thing instead of this daunting task that everybody who wants to, stay healthy has to overcome.
And it doesn't have to be so arduous like how, for example, all of those diet fads and everything where it's take better care of yourself, you have to do all these steps. This one was just real simple and
it
beautiful.
feels almost like you're being a mother to yourself, like a loving mother to yourself. It's like a gardener to a plant.
Fair enough. I really did like that one. It was short, but once again, pretty.
Yeah.
And now another one about roses, A Thorny Rose, read by our own Mr. Jed Friels.
A Thorny Rose, written by Kirsten D. Warfield. Our life is like a thorny rose, not perfect, but always beautiful. The thorns represent the hardships in our lives. The delicate red petals represent the fun, beautiful things in our lives. As a young rose, the petals hugging around the seed are the family and friends who protect, love, and care for us.
Personally, that one I like all these poems. Then again, I did choose most of them. I loved how it was once again beauty and the imperfect. It seemed kind of like how the rose was seen as something to achieve to be the pinnacle of beauty, and how in both of these poems the roses needed care.
Right, yes. This one, I agree with you, the beauty and the imperfect, because a lot of the times people, they don't really see the best in themselves. And it's good to have a little reminder, like especially from this poem, it tells you straight up, it doesn't matter what your imperfections are, that's part of what makes you beautiful. Just like most plants, like hybrid plants, some people see them as imperfect, but that's exactly why they're so beautiful.
As someone who's personally struggled with mental health at some points in my life, I love how these don't villainize it like sometimes it's happening.
Right, yes, I love that.
It's seen as something good, but something that needs work on, and I love that about that. I love how this one was more about coming out victorious thanks to your support, be it family, friends.
Right, like every plant needs its water.
Every person needs their support structure.
Exactly.
All right, up next we have another one read by the lovely Faith Quaintance, Peace Lilies.
I'm Faith Quaintance, and I'll be reading Peace Lilies by Kathy Smith Bowers. I collect them now, it seems, like seashells or old thimbles. One for father, one for mother, two for my sweet brothers. Odd how little they require of me, unlike the ones they were sent in memory. No sudden shrilling of the phone, no harried midnight flights, only a little water now and then, scant food and light. See how I've brought them all together here in this shaded space beyond the stairs. Even when they thirst, they summon me with nothing, more than a soft, indifferent furling of their leaves.
That was a bit of an odd poem, but I liked it.
Me too.
Reminded me of my granny's garden.
Oh my gosh.
It's now overrun with lily of the valley, but yeah, you can't get rid of those things when you try. I've tried. Back to the poem about peace lilies instead. In their name, they're known for peace and calmness. Pretty much what's on the tin.
Yeah, I feel like it brings me back to my great-grandma's house down in Virginia. And there's this huge cherry blossom tree out in the front yard, and every time I would visit in the spring, it would be in full blossom. It would be raining cherry petals.
That sounds honestly quite beautiful.
And it's the most serene and peaceful place I have ever been in. And like that connection with nature, that's why it's so important to me, is because I've had those moments in my life where nature was a core piece of that memory.
I get that. I love how this also is able to be happy while alone-ish. You don't have to have everyone there all the time, and this poem kind of talks about that. You can still live your life, be happy, and still love being with people, but still be mostly alone.
Right.
I think that's...
You're your closest friend, as they say.
I haven't heard that one yet, to be honest, but...
Well, at least I say it.
I've noticed. You have a couple weird sayings. A couple you stolen from me, too.
Oh, shush.
No. Now, on to our last poem of the day, Seeds of Growth, read to us by Maximus Brockhouse.
Seeds of Growth by David Rivera. Water the seed and the plant will grow. Feed the plant and the tree will grow. Give the tree a room and it will bloom. A seed to a plant to a tree, a boy to a man to a father. Care for the boy and the man will grow. Teach the man and the father will grow. I see my boys, I see my joy. Care for the boys and the man will grow. Teach me, my boys, and your father will grow. You can't have the tree without the plant. You can't have the plant without the seed. You can't have the father. Be a father without being a man. I, the man, can't be the father without my boys. The cycle of life, the father, the man, the boys, the father, the seed, the plant, the tree.
Thank you for that lovely reading, Maximus. But about the poem itself, I love how it was about care and nurture, of how you can't be yourself completely without the people who made you.
Right. Yes. And
Not literally, but
yeah, because like not all family is, exactly family. Like there's found family, obviously. But I do believe that it's very important to keep like those very important figures in your life if you can, and if it's
very
like still
much.
healthy. Especially like for plants. You need the seed in order to grow.
and you need to have a kid to be a parent,
Right, exactly.
just like the poem says.
Yeah, just like the poem says. It's pretty blunt. This poem's pretty blunt about its message.
Oh yeah, but it delivers it in a nice way, in my opinion. How the cycle of life of both a plant and a person, of how you grow and mature. It doesn't really talk about death, which not always happens, and I kind of like that. Of how it talks about the end being the final maturity. Like,
Right, yes. Because you reach the peak of wisdom when you're near the ending of your life.
but you're also technically completely mature by the time you're in your 30s, 40s.
Right, yes.
Even if you do obtain some warmth by the end.
I also like how it mentions that like a parent can't necessarily be a parent without their child, and I feel like it really stresses how they need to keep that relationship healthy, because like what parent is a parent without their child? Like,
Reminds me of that one saying, every kid deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. Of how you need to be actively a parent. You're not just immediately, if you have a kid, you're not a parent then.
right.
You have the ability to. And I love how this in a roundabout way, kind of talks about how you have to actively be a parent, of how I'm not a parent without my kids thing. Personally, I think it's a sweet metaphor.
It is. It is a really good metaphor.
All right. To recap, as those are all of our poems for this episode, some common themes, likes, dislikes. Some common themes, ooh, Lord, I can't English today. Some common themes I've seen are love, life, beauty, and strength, and how beauty is subjective, love, familial. We haven't talked about romantic in this episode, but familial, platonic, your support structure is all around you. How life is both beautiful, but also you need to have strength sometimes to deal with it. Pretty much what I expected in a roundabout way of what nature is symbolized as without the nature itself, ironically, in the plants.
Right. I feel like touching on the whole thing about not having any romance in this episode, I feel like that's pretty much a shocker for me, because normally people use plants like the budding flower as like the
blooming romance.
Yeah, the metaphor for romance.
Especially roses.
Oh my gosh,
Especially
yes,
roses.
especially
And we had two
roses.
about those today.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm completely blown away that people are actually able to write a poem about a rose and not make it about love.
Incorrect. They make it about love, just not romantic.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
All right. Any other recaps you want to have?
No, I think that's it.
All right, then.
Where the moon glows in bright.
And the grasses whisper the crows for all.
Every story tells its own and words abound.
Beauty shines her face through every line.
Dearest gentlefolk, admission was free.
So you paid at the door
You pulled up a chair,
and sat on the floor.
and we look forward to your return to Poetry Perch.